Hey, this is Hammered Airsoft Smith here. This video is a test and evaluation report on the UHC Colt Python Spring Revolver. Now I'm going to go over three things. The first thing is going to be the quality. The quality is low, and I'm going to explain why. Mainly because of the material, the plastic that it's made out of. The plastic that it's made out of is very thin and flimsy for the most part. Some of these parts, like the cylinder, the trigger, and the hammer, are actually very thick plastic, so I can't really see them breaking or anything. But everywhere else pretty much could break very easily, depending on how you take care of your airsoft guns. But my biggest concern with this pistol, because of the quality and the plastic it's made out of, it's very flimsy here where the barrel meets the frame, and over here where the handguard meets the frame, like just by the hammer. And I'll show you here, there's actually a seam, a thick seam that goes from the back of the hammer down and into the grip section here. There it is. It's very flimsy. I mean, I never had a problem there. This is my only revolver I ever owned. So, I mean, the chances of that actually happening, I don't know. Like I said, it depends. Like, if you're, like, doing duck and rolls and stuff, something might happen. If you're not watching your surroundings and smacking into a tree, something might happen. The longer the barrel, the more likely you're going to have that issue. Which is why I cut this barrel down, because I like the size. All the internals are made out of the really cheap plastic, and over time, if they're not properly lubricated or taken care of, they're all just going to grind each other down eventually, and they're just not going to work. Some of the parts are metal, but the main working parts that function that this pistol runs on are made out of cheap plastic. Now, one problem that I've actually witnessed, because I know someone who actually used to have one of these, was a long barrel silver one. The cylinder lock or cylinder rotator here. Let's see if I can get some good lighting over here. There it is. Okay, that's what slides and locks into these grooves. That actually, if that gets enough sand or debris in there, it would actually jam up and your cylinder won't rotate. It would actually just act like this. And then when you go to cock the hammer, pull the trigger, your next shot isn't going to go off because it's not rotating to the next shot. So like I said, just make sure you properly clean and lubricate this pistol. But that same goes for any other airsoft or real steel gun. A lot of people neglect the plastic spring powered guns. They think that they don't ever need to be taken care of or lubricated or anything, which is totally the opposite. Yeah, this pistol is really hard to take down. Well, it's easy to take down, but put back together is a different story that's just going to lead to a rant. But to be safe, I'm just going to just say that, yeah, it can be very difficult to get in there and clean it and whatever. But just watch what you're doing and just do the best you can to maintain it. And Q-tips fit pretty nicely all over. I would just dry everything off or whatever you guys see in cleaning videos for this. If you haven't, they're there under the playlist of said pistol. So, yeah. So like I said, that's that cylinder lock, that or rotator, that would definitely have some problems. He fixed it with a piece of paper one time, but you know that didn't last very long because you had to keep changing the piece of paper, and got tired of it and figured, well, why I gotta rely on a piece of paper? Anyways, I think there was enough about that going on. Can't see any issues with the cylinder itself or the hinge really. The cylinder release, sights, grips, trigger, you know, everything else looks pretty okay. The hammer looks pretty okay, but regarding the hammer, I think the section here where the hammer smacks into the back here, that would maybe over time crack, because the hammer is quite heavy compared to the rest of the frame of the gun, and smacking in there, like, over time, it might have a problem. But anyway, there you go. It's low quality. Number 2 would be durability, and regardless of its quality, it is a rather well put together gun. It's compact, especially with the smaller barrel like so. So it actually feels a lot more hefty and robust, as opposed, like I said, to the quality. So, you know, the durability is okay. It does hold up. I've had it over a year, so I've witnessed it, I've seen it. It could take quite a beating depending on, like I said, it all depends on your actions. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you're smacking it and stuff, obviously it's not going to last that long. But if you actually use your head and use the pistol correctly, it should be okay. Now, number 3 is the reliability. It's reliable. You know, you got the price and the action of the gun, the operation of it. It does what it's supposed to. You just simply load the pistol up, load the cylinder up, lock it into place, cock the hammer, pull the trigger. Every time that's happened, it worked. Every time I locked the hammer, pulled the trigger, and the pistol was loaded, it would work. So I can't say it's unreliable. There maybe has been a time, once or twice, that the cylinder wasn't rotating, but that comes down to if you're not locking the cylinder in properly. But that's not something that I think is very common. I never really had a BB roll out of the muzzle, but that would just come down to the hop rubber, which is inside of each and every shell that you purchase for the gun. So just make sure you clean them a lot. I have the 3 different types of ammo that I've tested the gun with. One being the really crappy stuff you get for free inside of like Airsoft gun packages. They're usually yellow and they have seams all over them. Yeah, it did bad with it, but that's okay. You can't hold it against it. Those BBs are really light, and to be honest, I think they're hollow. The .12 Crossman seamless BBs that I use, it did really well considering the length of the barrel, so I mean, not too bad there. And with .20 Perfect BBs, it did excellent, again, considering the muzzle length and that it doesn't get a lot of power out of its air nozzle system. So, you know, overall, it's an okay gun. I mean, it's $30 at most, usually. I mean, I've never really seen anything higher than that. I mean, if you're worried about those kind of things, which, you know, you kind of should be, then you might be better off getting like a spring-powered Colt or spring-powered Beretta, but they all have their issues too. Every airsoft gun, every real steel gun, they all have their flaws. So, you know, that shouldn't just stop you from not buying something. If you like revolvers and you don't want to purchase propane all the time, then yeah, something like this is pretty okay. because you can use it with one hand. So, alright, there you have it. That's pretty much it. Like I say, overall, it's an okay gun. It's decent, especially for the price and, you know, considering the quality and everything. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. See you guys later.